Thank you, Paul. I have said on a number of occasions, and some of you in the room will have heard me say this, that a decent home is not only one that people can afford, but one that is warm, dry and safe. A decent, affordable home is vital for people's health and well-being, their employment chances and key for children's educational attainment. As we know, York is some of the most expensive private rented houses outside of the South East. Guidelines suggest that to live in an average 2-bedroom private rented house in the city, you need a household income of around $32,000 if you are not to spend more than 25% of your income on accommodation costs. However, the average household wage in this sector is around $20,000. There is also a huge difference between average rent of around $650 a month compared with the local housing allowance for those who require housing benefit of around $510. And this needs to be considered in line with household incomes. Around 40% of households in the city have an income of less than $24,000 a year. Our commitment to tackling poverty is clearly visible through the work we have done and are doing. We have established the York Fairness Commission, whose report outlined the extent and nature of the disadvantages in York and showed how important, decent, affordable housing is in supporting the city's wider ambitions around economic growth, health and well-being and ending poverty. We have provided strategic leadership to enable coordinated response to the poverty and disadvantage through the development of York Poverty Programme. This brings together a wide range of people and organisations aimed at tackling the many causes and symptoms of poverty, and this Housing Week is a good example of how agencies can come together to raise awareness and identify practical solutions. This week's events have been held in the city's communities as well as this building and have looked at issues such as budgeting, loan sharks and benefit checks. As a council, we play an important role in helping the challenges of poverty. The council directly provides and commissions a wide range of services that help prevent or address poverty, such as schools, childcare, housing, economic development and adult care services. Success is already starting to show. We have excellent GCSE results, we have our new Health and Wellbeing Board, which is starting to make a difference. The council is attracting inward investment to the city, such as Hiscop, jobs for York people. We have a £70 million programme to build new council homes. We are ensuring that our council homes all have UPVC windows by 2015. We are working towards new fit-for-purpose elderly people's homes. We have committed to the living wage. We have brought 60% of the city's empty homes back into use in 2 years, relaunched with success already, the Living Above the Shop scheme and much more. But these are challenging times both for the council and our partner organisations due to funding cuts, and for people in York whose household budgets are affected by changes to the welfare reforms and also by the utility cost increases. As a city then, we will need to work harder to prevent more people experiencing poverty. It was seeing people struggling in the 1980s that led me to an interest in poverty and housing and politics. I was a student in Manchester in the 1980s and I got to experience what I will probably, I rightly think I will call the hell of Hume. Hume was designed in the 1960s and received an award for the architectural design of 1961. It was a set of wooden flats and concrete circular blocks. They were full of asbestos, you couldn't have heating on in them. And the wooden blocks were full of cockroaches because when the slum clearances were done in the 50s, they never fumigated the area. Seeing some of my student friends and also a lot of young mothers and poor families living in Manchester really made me realise how lucky I was to live in York. You would go in the shops where everything was behind metal cages. You had to point to what you wanted. And I think that really did change how I viewed living in this city. But when I came back to York, I realised that York wasn't probably as nice as we all thought it was. At that point, I was about 21. And I said to a tour guide from London who always said to me how much he liked coming to York, how pretty it was. I said, take your coach down that road next time you come to York. You won't see the trees, the nice, the wide roads, the verges, you'll see something different. And he came back to me a week later and he said, oh my God, I can't believe this is York. He says, but everyone only ever sees Tadcaster Road, Fulford Road, etc. He said you have hidden poverty in the city, because I thought that only was in industrial cities. So that really is what made me have such passion I have for my politics and my housing concerns in this city. So whilst we have done a lot to improve the areas of York over the years with the Tenants' Choice programmes, we still have thousands of households living in poverty. We have around 5,000 children living in poverty. We have poor conditions in our houses, we have cold and damp in them. And many households who are defined as being in poverty and receiving benefits are actually in work. And that's also, I think, something that we need to look at. I think it's also quite shocking that, you know, we have double the amount of people in fuel poverty and we have food banks opening. And I know John Hocking will later on outline in more detail the extent of poverty in York. So, to conclude, we have tough challenges ahead, but as a responsible organisation with a social conscience, I know we should be able to do everything we can working with our partners to raise living standards in this city that we will all find acceptable to live in. It won't be quick, but I know that we're up for the challenge, and I hope you, as those who are willing to work with us, are also up for that challenge. Thank you.